Hello folks, we're down here in Victoria. We just left Russell's Books and we are on Fort Street and Vancouver. So welcome to the channel. I hope you like and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so that you're notified of every single video because I do try and post pretty often. My driver today is Paul.
Biff.
Oh, his Biff today. Biff and Ted in the back. So anyway, these are some of the old shops on this old Victorian road. Fort Street was known during the war times to have a lot of soldiers on it. I'm surprised they're not here now. Anyway, this is pretty cool. So Fort Street has primarily downtown more. A lot of the antiques, antique shops, vintage coin shops, a lot of collectibles, antiques, and things like that. They are expensive, right? So keep in mind that that is primarily what it's, I guess, what they kind of go for is the antiques, but it's more for tourism. However, don't mix up Russell's Books as being a tourism spot. It's certainly not. All of us locals pretty much go to that shop. That's our shop. And there's one more downtown, but this has been the bookstore we've gone to for the 23 years we've been back on the island, or that I've been back on the island, and Paul shopped here. We used to actually live just up here on 1465 Fort Street. That was the apartment I used to manage when I was a young 20-year-old woman. And yeah. That's where I ended up coming back home for a trip from Ontario. There 16 years. I call it the sentence, and it's coming up here on the right. Anyway, coming back here, stayed with a friend. We'd always talked about living on the island. Look, there's a little Sheltie cross. Anyway, in my younger years, when I was working in the nursing home, I lived on the second floor of that building. That's the one I used to manage, that apartment, and that is, yeah, our old place. So the Jubilee is just up here. I used to frequent the park back here, and there was a lovely British chip shop. I think it was called Old English Fish and Chips. Were in here. They were here for years, weren't they, Paul?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So they stayed in business here for years. I don't know really what's gone on. Could you put the heat on for me? I'm a little chilly. Aren't you guys chilly? Hope you have a cup of tea. Got my Timmy's still going on. One sip left. So what's on the menu tonight will be something very quick. Probably just some cod or maybe some halibut, maybe some salmon, and some chips. So fish and chips. Very British meal. Oh, look at that. Cannabis store. Shoe store. Shell shop. That looks like a fun store to go to. Glittery tops and fancy bottoms. And we are waiting for that light. I see that now. That's an old vintage building. It's one of the older ones in Victoria. A lot of stores come back and forth and frequent that and then go somewhere else. They're not allowed to tear down the old shops. They have to actually, or the old buildings, they have to repair them and maintain them according to the old, what do they call that, but the bylaws?
I'm not sure.
Of Vancouver Island. Anyway, it has to go before the
Vintage buildings.
Vintage buildings. That means past 1900s. So the old buildings have to be maintained properly and restored, if you will.
There's a couple downtown Inner Harbor. They're like 200 years old.
Yeah.
Not safe to go in, but they can't break them down.
Right. And that's why. I mean, you can buy them and you can have an idea of what you want to do, but you have to follow the old principles. It's like if you move to England, right, and you buy an old castle and it's not habitable, but you purchased it, so you go before the council and all these other different people, and somebody from England, if you're watching, you can tell me exactly who it is you go to. They tell you what needs to be done and what you have to do to restore it back to the pristine, condition that it was at one time. That means right back, even with paint, matching up paint colors, things like that. It's really extensive. Really, really extensive. And some of the houses, if you want the metal on next to your door, established in such and such, you have to follow the regulations and municipality, city guidelines, and everything else. It's quite a lot of hoops and a lot of wet black ink and a lot of hoo-ha that you have to jump through to get to do that. That's still part of the Jubilee Hospital that's on the right side. Look at all that. BC Cancer, D&T, Memorial Pavilion, Patient Care. Yeah, it's a big, big, big hospital. Anyway, well, it's extensive for diabetes. It's a diabetes center here, and cancer as well. And they have another one in Vancouver. I don't know if they're as good as here, but it just keeps on going on and on and on and on. And that's still part of it back there. The old building, you can go down on this road and it's still a hospital way down there, way down the end. It's ginormous. Any chance we can go by any Bessie's house?
No.
We're in the area.
We're not here.
We're not far.
We're way far.
Kings. That's where Jill lived. Well, thanks for coming along for a ride.